So, welcome everyone. I'm Alexander Mihalcea, and today we have one of the industry leaders, Christophe, founder and managing director of Value Creation Alternative. Welcome, Christophe. How are you doing today?
Hi, Alexander. I'm doing good. Nice talking to you.
Great, awesome, and I'm excited to have you on the podcast today, and I'm sure you're going to be of great value for the audience. Now, before we dive in, could you give us a quick overview of what Value Creation Alternative does?
Yes, Value Creation Alternative is an international network of professionals. And what we do, we help companies develop their business internationally. We typically focus on cross border transactions in excess of 10 million. And we offer three lines of services: M&A, fundraising, and strategy consulting. We're sector agnostic. We help companies raise funding, and we provide a set of tools and solutions to help our clients hit the ground running.
Okay, that's really fascinating. And for example, Value Creation Alternative presents itself as an ecosystem of solutions. And in simple terms, how does this ecosystem work and what problem does it solve for the companies?
Well, you can look at VCA as an ecosystem of solution providers. Companies often struggle to grow because they lack one critical element, the missing piece. That piece might be capital, the right partner, talent, regulatory approval, or access to a new market. Our ecosystem connects them to a global network of vetted investors, experts, and regulated platforms. Instead of starting from scratch, they plug directly into our infrastructure, saving time, cost, and risk. For example, one of our members wanted to bid for the acquisition of a casino in the Mauritius, but he lacked the business expertise to present a credible plan. By soliciting our network, we identify former casino directors, formed an alliance, because remember, VCA is a collaborative network, and we pulled together a competitive bid. This is how the ecosystem works in practice. Members bring their challenges, and the network provides the missing pieces. Together, we create solutions that would be impossible for a single company to achieve alone.
Okay, that's really fascinating. And for example, with close to 100 years of combined experience, what unique perspectives do your directors bring to the table?
Our leadership blends fundraising, M&A, and strategy consulting. Personally, I bring more than 20 years of experience in strategy consulting and digital transformation, while my colleagues contribute expertise in regulated fund platforms, cross-border transactions, and debt restructuring. What this means for our clients is that we don't stop at financial structuring. We also bring the ability to support strategic execution and long-term growth. Although VCA is sector agnostic, our directors, associate directors, and advisors bring deep expertise in industries like AI, fintech, and renewables, as well as financial services, infrastructure, and technology. This diversity allows us to vet opportunities more effectively and deliver tailored solutions that truly fit each client's reality.
Okay, interesting insight. And for example, VCA boasts a vast network of agents, experts, and investors. So, how does this network translate into tangible benefits for your client?
Value creation alternative was created as an alternative to the dominance of large corporations. We're not just a firm, we are a collaborative network. And that means all clients are more than clients. They are partners. They are VCA members. VCA members contribute their expertise, assets, and time to the network. In return, they gain access to the collective strengths of other members, people and organizations who bring unique skills, capital, and solutions. Together, we work to identify that missing piece that can turn an opportunity into a successful venture. As the community grows, the network itself becomes stronger, and that creates a virtuous circle. The stronger the network, the better the service is for everyone involved. Of course, anyone can apply to join, but entry is conditional on passing on compliance process. That ensures credibility and quality across the board. In practice, the benefits fall into three categories. First, access. We have more than 35,000 contacts, more than 5,000 investors, and around 1,200 VCA members worldwide. Second, speed. Our databases, business intelligence tools, and pre-established relationships generate insights and add value in days, not months. And third, trust. Every introduction is filtered through our onboarding compliance process. We always ask for NDAs, KYCs, proof of funds, proof of products, and we check all those documents. So opportunities are serious and credible. That's how our network translates into tangible benefits. It empowers members to scale faster, safer, and smarter.
Yeah, that makes sense, totally. And you emphasize the turnkey solutions and infrastructure, which is impressive. But can you give a specific example of how this reduces cost and time to market for a company?
Yeah, a fund launch is a good example. Normally, setting up a regulated investment vehicle can take 12 to 18 months and will cost at least 125,000 euros, which is the minimum required by the regulator. Through VCA's partners, company can use pre-licensed structured in Malta and be ready in weeks, not months, saving huge amount of time, cost, while reducing the uncertainty of not being approved by the regulator. It's not because you send an application that you pass. This allows companies to focus on growth while we simplify the heavy lifting behind the scenes.
Okay, I see. And for example, VCA operates under regulated entities in multiple jurisdictions. So, how does this benefit sophisticated investors and clients navigating complex financial landscapes?
Let's focus on two benefits: credibility and flexibility. Investors engage more readily when deals are under a regulator oversight. You name them: the AMF in France, FINRA in the US, the CNMV in Spain, or the MFSA in Malta. And client can choose the jurisdictions that best align with the asset class and strategic goals.
So, you offer various fundraising platforms from retailer investors to IPOs. And for example, what are some key considerations for companies choosing the right path?
The first recommendation that we give to fund seekers is don't limit yourself to one single route. Every project has multiple characteristics, and by diversifying these, you open more doors. The first factor is the stage of growth. Each stage, early stage companies with no collateral will struggle to raise debt. So equity raises tend to be the better fit. More mature firms, however, can start thinking about issuing bonds or even listing to an IPO, an initial public offering.
Yeah.
The second is the type of capital and the use of proceeds. Are we talking about short-term liquidity, bridging the gap between today's needs and tomorrow's cash flows? Or are we planning a long-term expansion, which may justify leveraging the company with long-term debt? The third is the fundraiser's appetite for visibility. Some companies prefer the discretion of private markets, while others are comfortable putting their model under the spotlight of a public listing. Whatever
Okay.
path a company is considering, At VCA, we guide them through the trade-offs. Our role is to ensure that the funding strategy matches not only their financial needs, but also their growth ambitions and long-term resilience.
Okay, that's very interesting. And with experience in fund management, IT, and consulting, how do you approach business development from a strategic mindset?
At VCA, we carefully evaluate every opportunity. Before we even talk about executing a mandate, we take prospects through a structured evaluation process. This allows us to stress test the company's value proposition, governance, and digital footprint. And just as importantly, we want to make sure that our interests are aligned. We always remind people at VCA we don't have clients, we have partners. That is why our evaluation is done for free. It helps us answer three questions. First, does the prospect's value proposition make sense? Second one, can VCA add substantial value through its ecosystem? And third, will this prospect become a good VCA member, someone willing to collaborate? If the answer to all three is yes, then we onboard them as a VCA member and execute a mandate. This way, business development is not just about closing one-off deal. It's about building partnerships that can truly grow within our ecosystem.
Yeah. Totally makes sense. And now let's talk about an important point. So, risk mitigation is a key theme in your materials. So, how does VCA help clients navigate the risk associated with alternative investments?
We typically structure risk in three ways. First, well, the counterparties are always vetted via compliance. Always ask for KYC, proof of funds, sign NDAs. Second one is the information hedge via business intelligence and deal comparables. VCA runs its own CRM. We call it the VCA M&A suite, which has collected and analyzed data on more than 10,000 M&A transactions across more than 23 sectors and more than 42 countries. This gives clients structured insights about markets, valuation, and investor behavior. Execution, and the third one is execution certainty through turnkey infrastructure. It's not the same to say we're going to set up a fund than to say we already have a CCAV up and running and you can benefit from it by creating a sub-fund. By combining compliance, data-driven insights, and tested infrastructures, we help clients make informed decisions and avoid costly mistakes. We don't eliminate risk, but we reduce and structure it intelligently.
Right, makes sense, 100%. And now, given the ever-changing environment, how does VCA ensures its ecosystems remains updated and relevant?
Well, the ecosystem is living. We constantly onboard new VCA members, investors, and solution providers. We track more than 20 sectors globally and adapt to emerging trends like cryptos and artificial intelligence. Flexibility is built into the model and it is part of our DNA.
Okay, I see. And for example, before we wrap up, I'm curious about what's on the horizon. So, what's the ultimate vision for VCA and how do you see it evolving in the next 5, 10 years?
Our vision is to build a self-reinforcing ecosystem of virtual circles where companies and investors are not two separate groups, but part of the same growth journey. Here's how it works. Investors support companies through structured funds, helping them scale, grow through acquisition, and develop new revenue streams. Some of these ventures will create spin-offs powered by AI and digital transformation, unlocking entirely new business models. Over time, those very companies we helped will mature, succeed, and eventually become investors themselves. re-injecting
Right.
capital and expertise back into the system. That's the future of VCA, an ever-evolving AI-enabled ecosystems where knowledge, capital, and opportunities continuously circulate, reducing barriers to growth and creating a sustainable circle of value creation for all participants. It's not just about deals, it's about building a community that compounds its own success over the next 5 to 10 years and beyond.
Right, right. Interesting. And I'm looking forward. And for the listeners who want to learn more or potentially work with value creation alternative, what's the best way to get in touch?
Uh, it's that easy. You just go to the website www.vc-alternative.com. You have an email info@vc-alternative.com, or you can directly sign up through the online form that we have. You also have a contact form if you want to ask a specific question.
Okay, Christophe, and as you wrap up, what's your extra thoughts and insights for our audience to share?
Well, at VCA, we believe that growth is never about closing one deal. It's about finding that missing piece that unlocks the bigger picture. Our ecosystem brings together investors, experts, and companies in a cycle of collaboration where everyone contributes and everyone benefits. Whether it is raising capital, driving acquisitions, or leveraging AI to create new revenue streams, we focus on building sustainable value. If you're looking for a partner, not just an advisor, VCA is here to help you connect the dots and turn opportunities into lasting success.
Great, 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 great. So, thank you for joining today, Christophe, and for sharing such valuable insights into VCA's ecosystem and vision. It's clear that you and your team are helping companies not just raise capital, but truly transform your growth sustainably. And for our listeners, if you want to learn more about the value creation alternative, check out the socials below in the description or even connect with Christophe directly on the LinkedIn. That's all for this today's sessions, and thanks for tuning in, and until next time, keep looking for what missing piece.
Thank you, Alexander. Have a good day.
Right. Yeah, and see you in the next episode.